What's up, everybody? It's shameless plug time. So thanks for checking out the podcast, Going Full Nerd. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe everywhere possible. So look for Going Full Nerd on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, goingfullnerd.com, and my Twitter handle, ONYXXX1969. You can also listen to the audio version on its home, Anchor.fm, but also on Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you consume your podcast listening pleasure. Hey guys, let's get on with the show. Okay. Whoa, thanks for hanging around for the technical difficulties. One little thing throws everything out of whack. So once this is over, I'm going to tear it all down and say, what did I do while messing around with the computer? But what's up, everybody? It's 6 o'clock Sunday. Glad to see you here. It's been a couple of weeks. Well, it hasn't been a couple of weeks. This is the first Sunday back since doing the charity live stream. And I kind of want you guys to take a look. Thanks to everybody that has donated. Thanks to everybody that joined in and watched the live stream or went back and watched it, or however you want to do it. So far we've raised 500. Yeah, 500 for Children's National Medical Center. That is that's pretty awesome, but we're still short of our goal, and we still have until December 31st for all you people trying to get those tax breaks. You know, you can go ahead, donate, download your tax stuff. Link is in the description. But let's talk something other than Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, just for a couple of minutes, okay? Man, you know, before we get to Wakanda Forever and my review and my speculation on the greater Marvel universe and how things are going to move forward and where this is all going to go based off of what I watched inside of that and knowing what I know from what they've been talking about movies coming up. Let's have, I think I had it in the beginning when everything was going crazy. Hey, rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. He is, outside of Adam West, that man was Batman. For those of you who don't recognize the name Kevin Conroy, smack yourself. If you don't recognize the name Kevin Conroy, that's the iconic voice behind Batman in Batman the Animated Series. I mean, wow. Dude was young, man. Dude was only 66, man. Yo, it's crazy. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. When it's your time, it's your time. But that was exactly, I'm going to go ahead, the greatest Batman voice ever. I don't think that I'll be able to fill those shoes. So that's one job that I'm not going to go ahead and try to apply for after the fact. But, you know, he was our Batman. Yes, if you grew up with Batman the Animated Series and The Adventures of Superman and all those things and all these different Warner Brothers animated features where he was the true voice of Batman. I'm not even going to talk about that live action Bruce Wayne he did on Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW. We would just leave that one out of it. But, you know, hey, rest in peace. Sorry for his family. You know, hope they little comfort, you know, knowing that he was well enjoyed and his work lives on. Because I personally have a complete set of Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond, so I get to hear old boy's voice in the role that I know him for a long, long time. Whoo, man, yes, and inside the games too. You tell him, Terrence. You tell him. Shoot, it's been one of those weekends, folks. So to all my military veterans, happy Veterans Day, you know, belated and all that good, blah, 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 blah. You know, I spent a little time in the military. You know, it is what it is. But we're going to talk Wakanda Forever. We're going to talk Black Panther Wakanda Forever because we've talked about this on here. And I'm going to do everything I can not to spoil stuff, But in order to give you the full effect of how I was, um, what's the best way for me to put it? It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, uh, no, okay, I got you. You did this, but all right. Now, don't take this as a negative. I go on, I watch the movies for myself and I check out the movies for myself and I give my opinion. And my opinion is just like everybody else's opinion, you know, it matters to one person and one person only. That's this guy. All right. So take it with it what you will. But before I get started, I'm going to ask everybody go ahead, hit this video with a thumbs up, hit it with a like. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button because no takebacks after you hear what I got to say. Now, first of all, Wakanda Forever. Let's talk this box office. Domestic US box office $180 million. Yes, I'm good. I am good. It made the money. It made the money despite what's that? Respiratory viruses going around, flu going around, colds going around, COVID going around. Theater I went to was packed. Yo, I feel like crap now. That's why I'm drinking tea instead of my signature adult beverage. I got my favorite cologne, kills 99.9% of germs, and it is what it is. But this is what's up. This is what's up. We're gonna start with the fact that um every movie that I watch has something wrong with it. And I'm gonna say this is one of the few movies that I only really found one error or one thing wrong in my opinion. And it didn't really affect it, but it kept this movie from attaining the heights and levels of its predecessor, of the first movie. Okay. And it is not the fact that Chadwick Boseman has passed away. Now, we've had discussions on the channel often. We had discussions a lot. And the discussions were more so should they recast? They need to recast. They got to recast. Why are you going to take this away from the Black community? Why are you going to not have, Black Panther? We've had 80 million Supermen, 50 million Batmen, you know, we've had two Blades, Yeah, you forget about that, didn't you? But we only can have one T'Challa, Black Panther? Wow, okay, great. I am going to say they did this in the best possible way. Now, it opened up on heart wrenching. I mean, I'll be honest. The whole movie, I was just like everybody else. I mean, I see Ron say it in here, or cry a lot. I mean, it was emotionally tough because you didn't know where the fictional part of the movie started versus the real emotion from the fact that Chadwick Boseman passed away at such a young age. Um, and the way they incorporated it, they never said what Black Panther passed away from. And I think, well, I've read some places say that was intentional, some say that was, something missing. They should have did that. Well, here goes the thing. I think I'm after kind of absorbing it and feeling it, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to say to myself, okay, that they did the right thing by not specifically identifying what killed T'Challa. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't Namor or Kul Kul Khan. I wanted to say that so bad. I was waiting for that. but it wasn't none of them. And the great part was the fact that, they just jumped into it. And they basically alluded that he was sick the whole time he had become the Black Panther. So here's the thing. It kind of adds something to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is characters can die. I don't think we really felt it when when Black Widow sacrificed herself. You didn't get that emotion. You didn't get that okay? You didn't get that. When Iron Man, I am Iron Man, you didn't you felt it in the theater, but it didn't dig real deep. Then, Aunt May and No Way Home, that was and it grabbed you, but it didn't have that impact. Or maybe it was just me. And I'm gonna say this because Chadwick Boseman passed away from colon cancer. Okay. And that actually kind of hit home for your boy because my sister at a young age passed away from colon cancer. And if you remember, I did a video earlier in the year. I got a colonoscopy, that type of thing, to kind of bring some awareness, to get checked out and do some things like that. So I'm just going to say the movie really showed that the um the characters in the MCU are just more than the fictional comic book characters that we'll just rehash and do a new story, we'll bring a new actor in, we'll do this. It didn't cheapen the story. And that's something that, I was worried about going in. Like, how can you do a Black Panther 2 without T'Challa? Well, they did it. And I am going to say they did it exceptionally well. Now, this is the part that's going to take a lot of. It's not a perfect movie, okay? It's not. And there's a couple of things, and I think the not so perfect stuff comes from how they how they handled the character of Shuri and how they handled Queen Ramon. Now, I am going to sit here and say right before Thanksgiving, just like, you get your aunties, your cousins, when you ask who made the potato salad and the potato salad was real good, you'd be like, oh, Charlene put her foot in the potato salad this time. Ryan Coogler, the writing staff, and Angela Bassett, she put her foot in this role. She pounced on it. She gave me vibes. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She did her thing in this. And I can see why they had Angela Bassett as the queen of Wakanda. Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Let's see. What's some of the coolest things that I can say? What's some of the best points? Or should I go with the negative? Should I just throw the negative out at you guys and say this is what the negative is, and this is why I docked the movie points on the Going Full Nerd scale? Is that what you rather hear, or would you like to hear what I thought was awesome about it? And then we'll go into speculation. All right. I'm looking in. I'm looking in. Okay, okay. So let's go here. Let's do it. What was the one thing that I found wrong with the movie? It was long as hell. That was the only thing wrong. I think we could have shaved a little bit off. Not a lot, a little bit. The action on point. Now, looking at your comment, addressing, no, we needed Ironheart. And there's a couple of things about her that I'm going to go ahead and say. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. Things about the movie. The movie wasn't about a whole. It wasn't that your typical action MCU superhero flick. This was about dealing and coping with loss. That's what the whole movie was about, folks. It was about dealing and coping with loss. And they did it in a superhero medium. Okay. They added the political aspect, they added the thriller aspect. They did that. And that was what made this movie. I know that there have been um I've seen reviews online. Oh, this is garbage. This is trash. This is somebody that doesn't understand good writing. This is somebody that doesn't understand good storytelling. This is somebody that doesn't understand that this is how you weave a tale. Notice how I'm saying these things, okay? This is how you also intertwine cultures. This is how you make things. It's like everything was so well done and thrown out at you, okay? You basically overlooked the biggest shortcoming of the movie, which was its length, in my opinion. But the length, it just was so long. Whoa, we. Now, let's talk the character introduction. Let's talk Ironheart. That was actually a decent introduction to Ironheart. I mean, to have her as a prodigy who created something that basically got her in trouble, that's pretty cool. Couple of things I didn't agree with. Um, they kind of glossed over a lot of things. Once she got uh into Wakanda and things like that, it's okay. Her suit went from Tony Stark scraps in a cave to damn near Infinity War worthy. But what was pretty cool about it is they did a few parallels to Tony in that, flying high, you know, compensating for atmosphere, things like that. Those were a couple of cool things. Her using um Shuri's AI, voiced by Trevor Noah, that was pretty tight. But the thing is, you got to look at the adaptation and where the MCU stands at this point. Um, we'll go and we'll look at the introduction of the Night Angel. Okay, the Night Angels, they've changed the story from the comic books completely different. And that's pretty cool. But to have Okoye change her role and be of a more superhuman role is kind of cool because he was running around with a spear all through Infinity War, throwing down with some of the biggest of the baddest. Kind of cool. I dig it. It's all good. Let's talk Queen Ramonda again. Angela Bassett. I mean, she did so good in that role. But the problem was, her character was so lost in grief that I think she made some real poor decisions in trying to protect her family. That's me outside looking in. It is what it is. Whew, what can I say? But when confronted by Namor or Cool God, oh man, Winston Duke, we're gonna get to him and M'Baka in a minute, but he got the Cool God, the serpent God. But here's the thing. But when she was confronted by Namor and such, it was one of those things where it was like, okay, you know, I get her, but if you are the monarch of the most powerful nation in the world, just because this guy made it through your defenses, you shouldn't be as shook. I personally would have been a little more, and maybe that's the American in me, the arrogance in me, or the straight Brooklyn, like you roll up in my crib, you get smacked, yo, that type of thing. But it was one of those moments. It was like, wow, and, you know, it just showed that even power is not immune to having grief over family. I mean, it is what it is. Husband or son, daughter was missing. It was crazy. And then, just a whole bunch of. So the internet, let's talk about the internet. Internet ain't shit. I'm gonna say that. Because I'm gonna say this. I refuse to call Namor or Namor or Kul Khan a villain. I'm not gonna call him a villain. I refuse to call him a villain because he truly was not a villain. He was someone protecting his own. Honestly, that's all it was. A villain does something for personal gain. A villain does something to gain power. A villain does something to just subjugate someone for the sake of their own benefit, you know. And I don't think that was his case, okay? I do not think that was his thing. His thing was he wanted to remain hidden. It was Wakanda's, Wakanda, okay, you, Wakanda, you want to share your gifts with the world. You opened up your borders. You reached out to the rest of the world and you were just catching some flack because now the world knew you had vibranium. They knew what vibranium could do because of Infinity War when you came to the world's aid. Now they want to get it from you because the infighting has started. Oh, typical politics. Wow, that was real familiar. And then the next thing you know, they say, well, if we can't steal it from Wakanda, we'll find it around the world. Now, here goes the thing. When they said they had a vibranium detector, I was like, ooh, I can't wait. Maybe they'll get the Savage Land. That'll be tight. But no, they found Namor. Okay. And here goes the thing. His connection with the outside world was horrendous. I mean, he suffered from the beginning, basically straight evil. You know, people coming to take over the land, infecting people. And so he had all rights to just want to be left alone. But he took a more aggressive approach in doing it, which then brought more of a spotlight. Mm. And it brought spotlight to the wrong group. So, it kind of makes you think about a whole lot of stuff. Now, moving forward, I am going to say Namor is going to be a problem. We all know, all of us who have seen the movie, we know how it ends. Namor is going to be a problem. He's going to be a big problem. But the question is how is the end of this phase 4? Okay, is this phase 4? I think it's phase 4. How is this phase of the MCU ending going to connect all these bigger plot points? Because we got the multiverse saga that we're dealing with that's supposed to come up. Then you got this stuff going on ground level. Then you got the Eternals popping up. Yo, how many things do they have going on? And what are we going to? How is this all going to tie together? Well, your boy is here. I'm about to tell you how all of this is going to tie together. And there's going to be possibly some spoilers, heavy spoilers, for stuff that hasn't even come out yet. So be warned, Watch this video later after the other movies come out. Tell me if I am correct. All right. First of all, we've just introduced mutants. All right. We've been getting alluded to mutants left and right. We've been getting Ms. Marvel. They played well, first of all, we got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Professor X shows up in the multiverse. Bam. Boom. Then the next thing you know, you got Ms. Marvel on Disney Plus. You get her showing up, and at the end, hey, it's not just because it is, it's because I found something different in your DNA, like a mutation. That's twice they played the X-Men 90s cartoon theme music. Now, let's continue on. Then you have the She-Hulk series. They showed a little stuff, the shoe store cartoon at the end credits. I lean towards that, but that's not really hard evidence. But the hard evidence goes with the people that was at Abomination's resort. El Aguila. He is a mutant that could channel energy through his sword. Mr. Immortal, the guy that she was defending. He was a mutant that regenerates and comes back to life after death. A lot of mutants popping up. A lot of mutants popping up. So, let's go. Let's go. So that's the mutant thing. Now, here goes my point. Now, we all saw, for those of us who saw Black Panther, we saw the end credits scene. We saw, they call it the mid credits because there was only one. It wasn't no end credit, it was a mid credit. So with the mid credit scene, we got introduced to Toussaint, who we know is T'Challa Jr. Let's go ahead and say it. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, now, here goes the thing. One of the biggest things that people have been clamoring about, people have been screaming about, is the fact that, we really, really want to see Black Panther and Storm. That's like the power couple from the comic books. Why can't we do that? Why can't we have that inside of the MCU? Well, it would have been great if they could have did that with Chadwick Boseman, but now we got to introduce a new Black Panther. But the key is it's going to be a number of years. And oh, by the way, the Black Panther is now Shuri. All good. But since we introduced a young son, aka T'Challa Jr., that lets us know Kevin Feige's comments about the X-Men being a number of years away possibly true, because that could be the Black Panther that falls in love and gets with Storm in the future. We all know movies have time jumps. We're not going to get any X-Men until what, phase 6, phase 7? They haven't announced any X-Men movie. The only closest thing we're getting to an X-Men movie is Deadpool, and I have a feeling that's going to be a multiversal between you and I. Now, let's move on. Now, the Black Panther movie obviously didn't have anything to deal with the multiverse, much like Multiverse of Madness or the Loki series. But what we can sit back and say is that it will probably have a connection to Captain America New World Order. Why? And why is that? Because, well, let's go ahead. Captain America New World Order is introducing all the infighting and all the governmental problems that are going on. Now, we know that there's going to be some conflicts because, oh my gosh, Black Panther, you've gave us more reason to see the Thunderbolts. Why? Because you pulled Julia Louis-Dreyfus out your butt and threw her in this movie. Didn't know she was married to the colonizer, Everett Ross, who is real tight with Wakanda. So, now, let's take a look at this. We know the lineup for the Thunderbolts film, okay? And we know the Thunderbolts are a team put together by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, aka the Contessa. Okay. Now, we also know that she wants and needs and is trying to get vibranium. Oh, really? So now she's going to have that Thunderbolts team do a little something, and I have a feeling that that's going to come in direct conflict in Captain America New World Order. I think Captain America New World Order, if I remember correctly, comes out before Thunderbolts. Therefore, that's where we're going to get Bucky moving over to the Thunderbolts, and he's going to be the basic double agent inside of the Thunderbolts. With the new Black Widow, Yelena, backing him up because she knows the Contessa got some issues. But What the heck, Ed? What's going on, Onyx? You got to tell me these things. I got to wait so long for this? Yes, you do. But we also got some other cool stuff. What have we been introducing this whole time? Well, first of all, we had Eli the Patriot introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then we had inside WandaVision, Speed and Wiccan. Then we got Ant-Man Quantumania coming up. Cassie is getting ready, aka Stature. Wow. Interesting. Now we have Shuri, who is now a young Black Panther. Oh, Ironheart. Thor's daughter from Thor, Love and Thunder. Uh-oh. I have a feeling we are about to get a Young Avengers, folks. And I have a feeling that one of those unnamed projects is a Young Avenger. Yes, yes, yes. This is going to be real, real interesting. Yeah, man, Ever K. Ross, he can pull Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Just because the chick got purple hair, yeah, bullet, man, please. So that's what we got. Now, when all of this comes and explodes, that's when Avengers Secret War is going to pop off. Because that's where the multiverse meets the political madness. And then eventually, you're going to have all of that stuff come to a head. But with that being said, what is going to emerge after that will be your X-Men and the world that loves to hate. Because we still got to worry about the Eternals who are off in space with and we got to see what happens in Guardians of the Galaxy. Because some of this stuff, I'm reaching. Marvels, I'm reaching. Secret Invasion, what the heck? And I think Secret Invasion is going to have a little something to do with what's going on with New World Order and all that stuff, or the Black Panther and all that good stuff. But it's coming together, but I'm still putting together some pieces. So, what you think? What do you think? Well, I don't think we're going to get a Miles Morales. Not yet. Not quite yet. But we'll see. We will see. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've gone past my 30-minute time, but I will like to put a couple of things. Adam Warlock, we're going to get Adam Warlock inside Guardians, but I think he's going to be a throwaway character. I really do. I have a feeling they're gonna bring him in, kick him right out, and we're not going to get too much stuff. But here goes the thing. If Kevin Feige does what Kevin Feige does, and that is eventually we're going to have standalone stories set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that are not going to connect with anything else, I think that's what they're trying to lead to, because this gets very, very difficult in order to put all this stuff together and in order to make these things intertwine and connect. Certain throwaway lines move forward and they grab things. So I think that's getting a little bit too much on my man Kevin Feige, but he's doing a good job at handling business. But before I finish this up, before I stop, what I gotta go ahead and say is, what did I give Wakanda Forever? Well, I said the movie wasn't perfect. I said it wasn't perfect. Okay? It wasn't perfect, but it darn near was. So on the going full nerd scale of 5, it ended up with 4.95. I only took off half a point because of the length, man. I still think that a couple of little things could have been cut. I mean, it's just one of those moments where there's so much you could do, and I understand you had to have the grieving, the funeral, and all that, but I really think that could have been shortened a little bit. I know, and I don't think it would have taken away from the emotional impact of the movie, but we could have shaved it, trimmed it just a little bit. But that's just me, my opinion. What does my opinion matter? It is what it is. But anyway, thanks everybody. And how about the Blade movie? I'll address that. Well, they seem to have pushed it back indefinitely. They lost a director. Okay, I really don't know, but the mystic portion of the MCU seems to be moving forward pretty well. I mean, you have Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, Doctor Strange bringing in the mystic elements. I really hope that they could, rein this back in. But here goes the thing: knowing that they're going in a bunch of different directions and things are moving forward, um, wouldn't put it past them on canceling Blade and making it a Disney Plus series. I don't know. It all depends. It depends on what kind of director they can. And what I've noticed is that they're being very picky about the directors. And if they can't get the right director, they'll cancel the project. Bottom line up front. What I really think that they need to concentrate on personally is making sure that that Fantastic Four movie is right, because nobody has ever gotten Doctor Doom correct. And if you're going to go ahead and have villain development and moving forward, whoever, they need to, and I hate to call Doom a villain, because I think he'll have somewhat of a stance much like Namor, where he's not truly a villain, but he's just an asshole. And when you've got an asshole that has power, we might be on the, and that's all it is. But anyway, everybody, I would say, hey, send me a note on Twitter. But we all know Twitter is a human crap show. Send me a note in the community tab on YouTube and I will address it. I mean, I'm going to be on Twitter for a minute, but it's becoming a little bit unbearable since the Elon Musk takeover. I mean, really, I thought it was the Wild West before. It is completely lawless now. Whoa. So you never know what might go on that platform. But anyway, if you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. Send it to me. I will say it for you. And remember, everybody, remember. We still got until December 31st to reach that $1,000 for Children's National Medical Center. Inside the description, click the link. You can make your donation and print your tax receipts for this year, because we're going to need it. We all need every little bit of what kind of money we can do, and tax write-offs seem to be the thing to do. Anyway, peace, y'all, and I'm out of here. Funky music time. Ready, set, and go. Left in this year. I hope you made it positive. Hope you're hanging in there. We've been surviving a whole bunch of stuff. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Everybody give a big hand.